What's the biggest obstacle you've ever faced? And more importantly, what did you do to overcome it? When we speak of obstacles, we're referring to those stumbling blocks, big or small, that stand in the way of our goals, our dreams, our very lives. They are as inescapable as the air we breathe, and yet, they are not the end of the world. Far from it. Obstacles are the stepping stones on the path of personal growth, the catalysts that spur us to dig deep within ourselves, to find the strength we never knew we had. Everyone has a story of struggle, of resilience, of triumph. It's how we respond to these trials that truly defines us. It's about how we transform a setback into a comeback, a failure into a victory. The real question is, what's your story? Today we'll delve into some inspiring stories of individuals who faced significant obstacles and emerged victorious. Imagine being told you'd never walk again, let alone run. This was the reality for John, a once avid marathon runner. John was a titan on the track, his feet beating a rhythmic tattoo on the pavement as he devoured mile after mile. The finish line was not just a goal, but a promise of victory. That was until life threw him a curveball he never saw coming. In the summer of 2022, a terrible accident left John paralyzed from the waist down. The doctors were clear. His days of running marathons were over, but John, the man who had stared down the grueling 26.2 miles countless times, was not ready to give up. In the sterile white hospital room, John made a resolution. He would not only walk again, but he would run, and not just run, but complete another marathon. It was a goal that seemed insurmountable, but John was no stranger to challenges. His recovery was a marathon in itself, filled with sweat, tears, and countless hours of grueling physical therapy. But with each passing day, John grew stronger. He learned to navigate the world from a wheelchair, then with the aid of crutches, and finally, on his own 2 feet. 2 years after his accident, John was back on the track. His first few steps were shaky, but his determination was unshakable. With every stride he grew stronger, faster, more confident. Finally, the day of the marathon arrived. As John crossed the starting line, the crowd erupted in cheers. Every step was a victory, every mile a testament to the power of perseverance. 26.2 miles later, John crossed the finish line. He had not just run a marathon, he had defied the odds. John's story is a testament to the power of perseverance and the human spirit. His journey reminds us that no matter the obstacles we face, with determination and resilience, we can overcome. For the human spirit, just like John, is unbreakable. Sarah grew up in a neighborhood where opportunities were as scarce as their daily meals. This was a world where dreams were often smothered under the weight of poverty. Yet amidst this seemingly hopeless environment, Sarah nurtured a spark that refused to be extinguished. As a child, Sarah was acutely aware of the harsh reality that surrounded her. She saw the lack of opportunities and resources that plagued her community, and decided to do something about it. She decided to get an education, but it wasn't easy. Every day was a struggle. From walking miles to school to studying under streetlights due to lack of electricity at home, Sarah's journey wasn't paved with roses. Yet, she pressed on, driven by her determination to break free from the chains of poverty. Sarah's tenacity bore fruit when she earned a scholarship to a prestigious university. This was her ticket out of poverty, but she never forgot her roots. She studied hard, fueled by the desire to make a difference in her community. After graduation, she started a small business, leveraging her education and skills to create wealth. As her business flourished, Sarah became a beacon of hope in her community. But she didn't stop there. She realized that her success story could be replicated, so she started a foundation aimed at providing scholarships for underprivileged children in her community. She became a philanthropist, using her wealth to create opportunities for others, to light up their paths just like hers was lit. Today, Sarah is more than just a successful entrepreneur. She is a symbol of resilience and hope. She demonstrates that it's not the circumstances of our birth that define us, but our actions and choices. She shows that poverty is not a life sentence, that education can be a ladder out of it, and that success is not just about personal gain but about lifting others as we climb. Sarah's journey is a powerful reminder that where we start doesn't have to determine where we end up. Her story is a testament to the power of determination, education, and the will to create change. It's a story that inspires us to believe that no matter where we come from, we have the power to shape our own destiny. Addiction, a word that carries so much weight and often so much judgment. But for Michael, it was a reality he lived every day. Michael's journey through addiction was not an easy one. It was a path paved with hardships and trials, filled with moments of despair and feelings of hopelessness. He was trapped in a cycle that seemed impossible to break, his days consumed by the relentless pursuit of the next high. There were times when Michael hit rock bottom, days when he found himself in places he never imagined, doing things he never thought he'd do. He was losing himself in the haze of addiction, his life spiraling out of control. But even in his darkest hours there was a spark of desire, a faint glimmer of hope for a life free from the chains of addiction. It was this hope that led Michael to seek help. He reached out, his hand trembling, his voice barely a whisper, but his plea was heard. He was met with open arms, with understanding and compassion, not judgment. He was offered a lifeline, a chance to start anew, to reclaim his life from the clutches of addiction. His journey towards sobriety was not a smooth one. It was a road filled with bumps and twists, with setbacks and challenges. But with each passing day, Michael grew stronger, more determined. He was no longer a prisoner of his addiction, but a fighter, a survivor. In his newfound strength, Michael found a purpose. He turned his struggles into a beacon of hope for others battling addiction. He became a pillar of support, sharing his story, his experiences, his journey, in hopes of inspiring others to seek help, to fight their own battles, to overcome their own addictions. Michael's story is not just a tale of addiction, it is a testament to the human spirit's resilience, to the power of hope, and the transformative effect of seeking help. It is a story of redemption, of second chances, of a life reclaimed. Michael's story highlights that everyone deserves a second chance and the power of seeking help. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from adversity, and no one exemplifies this better than Lisa. Let's take a moment to delve into Lisa's story. Lisa was a hardworking employee, dedicated to her job and always striving to do her best. She was the person who'd stay late, arrive early, and go beyond what was expected. Then, one day, she found herself in an unexpected situation. She lost her job. The company she had given her all to had downsized, and she was left in the cold. She was faced with a reality she had never contemplated and a future that was uncertain. But Lisa didn't let this setback define her. Instead, she allowed it to shape her. She used it as a springboard, a catalyst to do something she had always dreamed of but never had the courage to pursue. Lisa decided to start her own business. She had years of experience and a wealth of knowledge. She knew it wouldn't be easy. She understood that starting a business would be filled with challenges and obstacles. She would have to learn new skills, take on new responsibilities, and face her fears. But she was ready. She was ready because she had resilience. She had the ability to bounce back, to adapt, and to overcome. And she did. Lisa started her own business and it flourished. She faced trials and tribulations, yes, but she overcame them. She learned from her mistakes, she grew from her experiences, and she evolved. She turned a setback into a step forward. Her resilience is an inspiration to us all. It shows us that obstacles are not the end of the road, but rather a detour to a new path. It shows us that setbacks are not failures, but rather opportunities for growth. It shows us that adversity is not a sign of weakness, but rather a test of our strength. Lisa's story shows us that sometimes the obstacles we face can lead us to paths we never imagined. So the next time you face an obstacle, remember Lisa, remember her resilience, and know that you too can bounce back, you too can overcome, you too can thrive. Each of these individuals faced significant obstacles, yet they didn't let these challenges define them. These stories we've shared, they're not just tales of hardship, but rather, they're narratives of resilience, determination, and triumph. In the story of the unlikely marathon runner, we witness the power of perseverance and the refusal to accept limitations. The journey from poverty to philanthropy taught us that one's humble beginnings don't dictate their future, but it's their will and determination that does. Then, we explored the story of overcoming addiction, reminding us that seeking help is not a sign of weakness, but a step towards strength and recovery. Finally, we delved into the power of resilience, proving that even when life pushes us to our limits, we can choose to rise again, stronger than before. Remember, it's not about the obstacles we face, but how we choose to overcome them. So, what's your